You're about to listen in to an exclusive glimpse of a real-life coaching session with our esteemed coach, Victoria English, and some of our clients. My name is James Swanwick. Welcome to the show. This is part one of a three-part series. I am joining you from a hotel in Cambridge in England, in the United Kingdom. I'm in the hotel lobby right now, sitting in this very impressive sofa chair. I'm over here for the summer of 2024, about to study a social psychology program at the University of Cambridge. Nice to spend some time with you. So, as I said, this is part one of a three-part series. You are about to get an exclusive glimpse into a real-life coaching session with our coach, Victoria English, and our clients. And in this episode, you'll be able to hear the dynamic interactions between our coach and four of our clients as they navigate the challenges and celebrate the breakthroughs of their alcohol-free journeys. You'll be able to experience firsthand the emotions, the concerns, and the transformative moments typical of a coaching call with alcohol-free lifestyle, hopefully providing you with a clear window into the support and guidance that we offer. To be clear, this is a Project 90 coaching call. Project 90 is the name of our 90-day stop drinking program. The University of Washington conducted a scientific study on this stop drinking program in the first quarter of 2023. The results were a 98% reduction in drinking. It was so successful, it was featured in Psychology Today magazine, Entrepreneur magazine, Forbes magazine, Daily Mail wrote a piece on it, a few other places, Fox News. So you'll be listening in to a coaching call very similar to a coaching call that would have taken place during that scientific study, which resulted in that 98% reduction in drinking. This is part one. I've broken up this 90-minute call into three sections. So this will be part one. It'll go for about 25, 30 minutes. And then part two will be released in the coming days. And then part three will be released thereafter. So three sections of the same coaching call. And if you, upon completing listening to these calls or this call, would like to apply to become a Project 90 client, then you're welcome to go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90, where you can watch a half an hour video there about our process, and there you can actually schedule a call with one of our coaches. It's a 25-minute free, no obligation call, just to see whether you might be a fit for our process. To be clear, our process is for business owners, executives over the age of 40. It is a like-minded group of business owners, executives, successful people, except for drinking. So they're successful in many areas of their life, but they're stuck with their drinking. Maybe they have high blood pressure, maybe they've got marital strain, maybe they're not present with their children, and the drift is getting them, and they're ready for a breakthrough. If that's you, then maybe Project 90 might be for you, in which case go to alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90. For now, though, I'm going to hand over to the recording of this coaching call hosted by our head coach, Coach Victoria English. She is a early 50s mother of three. She's a cancer survivor. She's based in Denver, Colorado. And on this call, we also have four clients, and those clients Jennifer, Brenda, Scott, and Steve. We're deliberately leaving their last name off to protect their privacy. They all agreed to have this call recorded and shared with you. So thank you to Jennifer, Brenda, Scott, and Steve. And now it is over to Coach Victoria.
Welcome, everyone. This is Victoria English, head coach at Alcohol Free Lifestyle. Today, you're in for a special treat. I am recording a live coaching call. So in this episode, you'll get to hear what it's like to be inside of Project 90, to get that high-level coaching, connection with others, and growth. I will be using first names only for the members who have agreed to participate in this call. Just so you know, every member who joins our program signs a non-disclosure agreement. We do not record anything about anyone or share anything about anyone without their permission. So the members today, you will hear their voices. They have agreed to be recorded, and I am appreciative of them for coming and sharing a little bit of their story, what their experience is like in Project 90, and also to be here to learn and grow together. So on that note, we will get started. Today we got Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer, Brenda, Scott, and Steve. I like to start the calls, as you know, with a little self-check-in. How are you really? And so if you could put in the chat a little bit about how you are today. We have a member on day 26, another on day 29, 9, and 24. And we do this on calls to ask ourselves, how are we really? When we're in the cycle of drinking, we don't do that. We don't have those moments of deep reflection to find out, how am I really? What do I need? It's more likely that our brain jumps to, I need a drink. So a big part of this program is getting in touch with ourselves and how we are so that we can get our needs met in a healthy, productive, non-destructive way. All right, Brenda says feeling strong and dedicated. Brenda, on day 29, can you talk about what is that like, feeling strong and dedicated?
Hi, yeah. I feel strong as far as where I want to go with this. I have made a commitment, and it's something that has excited me. I've tried to quit many times, and it's always been hard, depressing. So I am dedicated to this program, and I think what really makes it strong for me is the ability to mix with other like people. The information that I get from the polos and the coaching calls is so important to the way I'm living my life right now. Like I said before, I live for my coach calls and my polos throughout the day because it's an ongoing thing with the polos. It can just, you can feel kind of crappy and listen to a couple polos and it'll pick you right up. So I'm feeling very strong and very good about it.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Yes, for our listeners, what is Marco Polo? Marco Polo is a video app that we use within our program of Project 90. And it is in real time. It's real-time video. And we encourage our members to use that to connect with one another, get to know each other, but also to reach out for support in the moment. Instead of having to make yourself call somebody and hope they pick up or whatever other tools you may have used in the past, this is live action. And so when people are coming home from
Alex, come upstairs, Alex.
they are having those cravings, they can hop on Polo, they can share that, they can be vulnerable and get the support that they need. So thanks for sharing that, Brenda. And Brenda, I know that you have tried in the past to stop drinking, and it's really encouraging to see your growth and progress.
Thank you. It feels wonderful.
Good. All right. And Scott says he's beginning to feel steadier on day 9. Scott, how would you compare day 9 to day 1?
A little easier. I mean, almost every night I have these terrible cravings between 5 and 8. I feel like I get a little crazy. And last night wasn't so bad. So that was, I've been waiting for some relief, and I started to finally feel some last night. So
I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, the first week or so can really be tough. Alcohol is a powerful drug, and I appreciate you sharing that, because
yeah, it's like in the past when I've tried to quit, I've always just white knuckled it. And I guess I realize now I used to take some comfort in knowing that, if I cheat a little bit, who's going to know but me? It's all, fine. It's transitioning. And then I can always just go back whenever I want. And it's it feels different this time because I've made this commitment to myself and all of you, and I made the payment. It's just I don't feel like there's an easy off ramp. Like I can't just go like take a shot, to like ease through the night and call it good because it was just one. So it's so yeah, the fact that I made it through a whole week without anything at all, yeah, there's still a ways to go, but it's not easy yet.
Right, right. Well, in here we focus on the wins and we reflect on where we were, where we are today, and where we want to be. No one ever wants to go back to day one, but we've all done it countless times. And you're right, Scott, in this program, you have skin in the game. It's not just the financial commitment, it's being a part of this community and knowing that, wow, if I don't show up, people are gonna notice. And I have this connection to we're all in this together kind of feeling, right?
Mhm.
And that's great.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think it would help as much, but watching those polos where all these other really together people are sharing their struggles, it actually makes me feel not as alone in this whole thing. So,
That's the intention.
yeah.
I like how you said, pulled together people, because isn't that true? In Project 90, we all walked through the world looking pulled together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Very few people knew that I was struggling. And so I get it. When people come in here, they see people to whom they can really, really relate. And so I'm so glad that's been a pleasant surprise for you, Scott. Really good. Keep going. And the great thing is, in a week, you'll feel even better.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, lots of good things to look forward to during this process. Yeah, well, thank you guys for sharing that. We're going to talk today about reclaiming our lives after alcohol. When we think about people with a drinking problem, we can think about people that we see in the media or the poor souls who are really at that rock bottom. And in Project 90, the members who join us often face obstacles in really conquering this alcohol thing because they don't look like that. And yet, alcohol was claiming parts of their lives, robbing us, making our lives less than. And so when we release the alcohol, we get to reclaim the things that alcohol took from us, whether that was visible to the outside world or not. We can have gratitude that we were able to maintain what we did and say, enough is enough. I'm done with you. So today we're going to talk about what did alcohol take from us? And why? Why did it happen? And how do we get it back? And as you guys know, we talk a lot about the science in here, the science of addiction, the science of habit, the science of change. Can someone share their experience with that feeling of alcohol has taken from me and I can't understand why I let it? Jennifer.
Wow. It took time in being present away from me and within my son's life. And why it did that is because of all the other stuff around me, the stresses, the trying to hide, trying to numb myself from all the stuff around me, basically not being a good enough mother and working too hard and trying to prove something to everyone.
When you were experiencing that, especially around this situation as a mother, what sorts of feelings came up?
Well, regret. I regretted being that way. I wanted to lead by example. I wanted to be the perfect mother and do, I was always there for him, but not always present. I would always do everything that needed to be done as a mother, feed, clothe, do everything, be at all of his events and made him a number one priority. But I wasn't always full mentally there. I numbed it down. It was mom was a little helper to get me through things, arguments, being a single mother, arguing and having those battles. You had to pick your battles. Well, I picked wine to calm myself down so I wouldn't do that to him and be that, the driver of, trying to discipline him, it took the pain away from, wanting to be the best, but not knowing how, and what impact I really had on him.
I get it. Yeah. Brenda, would you like to share a little bit about that? What alcohol took from you that you're now excited to reclaim?
I think the alcohol, well, I know the alcohol took away my whole being. I was a completely different person when I would drink. Sometimes I thought a drink or two made me even better. But that was simply false courage. But the biggest thing is my ability to be the mother that I thought I should be, to be the spouse that I thought I should be. I wasn't present, like Jennifer said, and I think some of the things that would come up, I would make it to everything, but just the ability of not being able to have thorough enjoyness from whatever I was involved in. And sometimes I feel like yes, alcohol, it's a disease, but it's a manageable one. And I feel like I have to tell myself, this is far from the worst that could ever happen to me. There are so many other people that struggle with so much worse. And I feel fortunate to have a disease that I can manage. And with the help of this group and all the people, the coaches, I feel that it's manageable and I can get my life back.
Yeah, you can. I love the trend of moving away from the term alcoholic into the appropriate language, which is alcohol use disorder. And back when I was drinking, I was suffering from alcohol use disorder. That's a very broad spectrum, and we were all on it. Many of our listeners are on that spectrum. You don't have to qualify to change your relationship with alcohol. And I think that's very liberating to say, you know what, it could be worse, but oof, I think it's bad enough. I'm going to do something about it. And so you're right, Brenda, when I go to the doctor, my medical history will show that in the past, I suffered from alcohol use disorder. Through the work that you're doing here, that all of you are doing here, that will be back in your medical history. It does not ever have to be present in your life. You do not have to have active alcohol use disorder. And a big part of what we do in here is understanding the why. How did this happen? What is this drug? What is this substance? And breaking free of it. Yes, Steve.
I just wanted to, because this is an interesting topic, calling it a disease or alcohol use disorder. do you know what the DMS-10 is? It's a diagnostic manual.
Mhm.
It is medically classified as a use disorder. I believe that people throw around the term disease or not outside of you saying you have a disease or your doctor says you have a disease. I think the purpose of it is to soften the stigma, maybe. Then you could say, well, I have a disease. And I actually asked an addiction medicine guy, um, disease or disorder? He goes, no, it's a disease. And I said, is that really what you believe? Or is that what you were trained to believe? And he goes, no, I believe it. And I said, then tell me what other disease can be treated by group therapy.
Mm.
And he said, well, psychiatric disorders. I said, seriously, why are drugs the first line of treatment then? It just it really in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter what you call it? It doesn't.
Mhm.
But Veronica's completely correct. That is how it's classified. It isn't classified as disease.
Mhm. It is an interesting debate, and you know, the way I talk about it is, if we are driving on a mountainside road and there's a mudslide and our car slides down into the valley, are we going to sit there and analyze how we got down there and name it and describe it in detail and all the things, or are we going to figure out what we're going to do next? That's what I love about coaching. It's like, okay, you know what? Alcohol got its hooks into you. There's a myriad of reasons. Potato, alcohol use disorder, spectrum, disease, choice model, whatever it is. It was impacting your life in a negative way. And so what do we do now? What do you want your life to look like? So yes, I agree. It's such an interesting topic. You know, we're going to talk more about, how did we allow alcohol to take things from us? Everyone here wants to be the best version of themselves. Every person who joins Project 90 is high achieving in usually more than one area of their lives. And so how this happened? What is the deal with alcohol? We could see the decline. We could see that it was definitely costing us more than it gave us. So why did we keep going back? Right? Let's talk a little bit about the why. And that's where I invite you to suspend judgment about yourself for a little while. And put on your lab coat, put on your goggles, and let's learn. Let's learn the why of how this happened, what's going on, what happens when we take that drink. Give me just a moment to share my screen. And for our listeners, I will put these slides into the show notes, so you'll be able to see some things. So when we drink, we are under siege. We're under attack. Our brain is being attacked by this substance. Over time, drinking enough times causes us to act in ways in which we don't recognize ourselves. And if you do that enough times, you start to believe that you are that person. Can anyone relate to that? Did you ever have days where you're like, man, am I not a good person? Like, what is the deal here? Scott?
You know, yeah, all the time, right?
Mhm.
So drink too much, you know, 2 drinks, I was usually pretty responsible. 3 drinks, a little more lively. 4 drinks,
Mhm.
say some things I'd really regret. And 5 drinks, I'd get really fuzzy, but I would wake up just filled with shame and regret.
Right.
Call it anxiety. I lived through that a lot over the years. Yeah.
Yeah. And so as intelligent people, we would think to ourselves, gosh, that didn't go well. I think I won't do that again. Except alcohol is different. It can leave us really puzzled. And so that's what we're going to go over a little more in depth. How does it attack the brain? We're going to talk about the dopamine, the limbic system, the neurotransmitters. And we're going to take you through that in kind of like looking back at one of your drinking days so that you can understand, why the heck did I do what I did? The intention of that is to hopefully replace that shame, regret, self-judgment with understanding, with education, and the awareness that you now have a choice in what happens next. Alcohol has lost its voting power. And to keep the voting power suspended, this sort of education is key. It's key to empowerment.
Thanks for listening to the Alcohol Free Lifestyle podcast. I want to load you up with some free stuff right now. So if you want to go to jamesswanwick.com/guide, I will send you my Quit Alcohol Guide, which has helped 6-figure entrepreneurs and top professionals reduce or quit drinking. You can also text the word Quit Guide to the number 44222 if you're in the US, of course. It doesn't really work anywhere outside of the US, but if you're in the US on your mobile phone and you'd like that guide, text the word Quit Guide to the number 44222, or you can go to jamesswanwick.com/guide.